You are welcome to the day 2 of our Microsoft PowerPoint training session. On day 1, we stopped at lesson 3, which is file menu in the menu bar. So I showed us the different things we can do from the file menu. For example, you can save, you can open an existing document, you can create a new document, you can print your document from there, as we can see the options here, and then you can even export to different formats. Today we will move straight to the next lesson, which is lesson 4 in topic 2. The lesson 4 is about home tab in the menu bar. So the home tab, it contains the commands that we can use to do some very important things in the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. The commands that make up the home tab ribbon that shows under the home tab is similar to what we have in the Microsoft Word environment. One unique difference is the presence of the slide group in the home tab ribbon in PowerPoint. Just as I mentioned in our first class, that in PowerPoint we deal with slides and we have this slide ribbon and this slide command in the window. So we can see this slide. Let me even open the PowerPoint presentation, a new one. So from the search box here in the task bar, let's enter PowerPoint. Double click on PowerPoint to open it. So we'll be creating a blank presentation. So let me just click on this. All right, we have a blank presentation. So the first thing that we will do is to save it with a name. So let me go to File, click on Save As or Save Anyone. Then let's choose Document. And let's save it as Day 2 lesson. Then click on Save. As I said in our previous class, that when you save a new PowerPoint document, it's going to be saved as a PowerPoint presentation. And the extension for a PowerPoint presentation is .pptx. But in older versions of PowerPoint, like 2007 and the older ones, it can be saved as .ppt. So, but in recent ones, like in 2016, 2019, and above, so the file extension is usually .pptx. So we'll be saving it as PowerPoint presentation, which is the default saving type, and then click on Save. So what I mean by that .ppts is that it will end the name of that particular presentation. So let me go to Document and show us now. So this is PowerPoint Day 2. If you right click and see the details or properties, you can see it's showing Microsoft PowerPoint presentation .pptx here. So you can see this .pptx. So it shows us that this is a PowerPoint document. Right, let's close this. Let's now open the new PowerPoint presentation, which has been named Day 2 lesson. And by default, when we create a new document like that, a new PowerPoint presentation document is going to give us one slide. And the slide is the one where we can enter title and also a subtitle. So for this, let's just enter computer lesson as title. And for the subtitle, let's enter by training coordinator. So we have done that. Let's go back to our lesson. Okay. So Figure 11 shows the different layouts type that we can select from when adding a new slide. So we will add new slides to our presentation now. To add a new slide, you can just come to this slide section. Remember, we are still in the Home tab. So this slide section, just click on this drop down below the new slide. And remember that the shortcut for new slide is Ctrl M. So if you don't want to add it from there, you can just press Ctrl M from your keyboard and it's going to add a new slide for you. All right, so here we have different slide types, like they are like templates. So by default, we have this title slide added for us. Then we also have the one with title and content, the one with section header, the one with two content, and so on. So let me just click on this one, title and content. That's a layout. Here you can add a title and then you can also add the content. For example, let's say computer component. Component as title. Then for the content, let's add computer hardware and computer software. So we can see that this particular content placeholder is having this bullet characteristics. So whatever you enter into it will be entered in bullet form. That is, it will be like you are numbering them, but this one is bullet. So if you press enter, it's going to create another bullet for you and you can continue in that way. So that's because this particular template is a default one for the layout, is a default one for title and content as we have here. Now, if you want to have a two content, let's assume I want to add another slide for two contents. I can just click on new slide from there, click on these two contents. So you can see you can add a title, you can add another title like text that's for the left side and then text for the right side. So let's assume I want to add more about those components. Add here component. So we can see this is just a layout for two contents. So just as we have here. So that's how it works. Now, if you want to change the layout of a particular existing slide, for example, here we have computer lesson. You can just change it from here. Just click on the slide layout and then you can change from maybe title slide to blank slide or anyone. But let's just retain the default one, which is the title slide. All right, so let's now look at the other parts. Here in the Home tab, we can see the Clipboard group. From there, you can cut. Let me zoom in for us to see. So this icon here is cut. This icon is to copy, and this one is to add format painter, and this bigger one is to paste, and the shortcut is Ctrl V. Let me zoom out. So we have now understood the clipboard and the slides. I will still demonstrate how those buttons in the clipboard group work later on. All right, let's move to the fonts group. I believe you are familiar with this even in the Microsoft Word lesson. So let's just apply some formatting to our elements on the slide. For this, I want to make it bold. So just highlight anything you want to apply formatting to, and then click on that formatting that you want to apply to it. For example, you can make it bold, you can apply italics, you can underline it, and you can even apply this text shadow. So you can see. So if you apply any formatting to your text, they are going to be highlighted, as we can see in this font group. So these 4 commands or tools I added have been highlighted. All right, so let me remove the underline and let's leave it like that. So you can also, this one is strike through. This one is to like make a line to cross your text. If I should click on it, you can see it has crossed it. So if I should click again, it will remove that strike through. This one is character spacing. It's just like creating space between each character in the text. So we have the normal, we have loose, we have very loose, and so on. So let's just leave it at normal. And whenever you see any drop down arrow beside a particular command, it means there are still some other options associated with that command. So you can just click on it to see the other options that are associated with it. So the same thing applies to this one too, which is to change the case of your text. Let me zoom out then. Okay, let's now check that. This is computer lesson. I want to change it to uppercase. That is, I want everything to be in capital letter. So you just highlight it and click on uppercase. And remember the shortcut key is Shift F3. If I want to change it to another case, let's say lowercase, just click on it. And then if you want to change it to sentence case like this, just click. But let's just make it uppercase. I've clicked on that. Then this one is text highlights. If you want to apply a kind of highlight to the text, which we apply color to it, to the background of that particular text, you can use this text highlight color. So let's say I want to highlight it with green color. So we can see when you click on it, it's going to add it to it. But we are not interested in that. So I can just press Ctrl Z to undo that highlight. Then the next button beside it is font color. So for this, let's apply green color. This green as 25% darker. So if I should click on it, I've applied the color, and I can now come to this font type. Let's assume I want to use this font for the text. So let's use this. So let's use this Arial Black. If I should click on it, it will apply the font. Let me remove the italics so we can see it has applied some formatting to this particular text. Then we have the font size. You can increase or reduce it from there. As 40, 36, let's leave it at 48. So we can see it has applied it. And these other options, increase font size and decrease font size. This one, if you click on it, it will increase the font size by 2 points. If I should click on it, you can see it has increased. If I should click on it again, it has reduced. But in this case, because it's a It's the title, so it's increasing it by even more points. So let's just leave it at that 48. Then this one is clear or formatting. So formatting, as I said earlier, is just like you apply bold, you apply italics, you apply underline, and so on. So if you want to clear all those formatting that you have applied to the selected text and make it to be like the normal state that it was initially, so you can just click on this apply formatting. So let me choose this so that we can see the effect better. Let me increase the size to 66. And then if I should click on this clear formatting, it will reverse all those formatting that I've applied to it. So click on it so you can see it has changed it to the normal font size. It has removed the bold. It has reduced the font size from 66 to 60. So that is how that works. Let me Ctrl Z to return the formatting. Then the next group is the paragraph group. Here you can add bullets to your selected text. You can add numberings. You can even align left, align right, align center, and we even have the justify here. And from that group, you can also add line spacing. If it's single line spacing, that would be 1.0. If it is double line spacing, that would be 2.0. And we also have some other line spacing options here. All right, so I will still demonstrate how those line spacings work as we proceed. Here we also have add or remove colon. We don't necessarily use this as such. So let's just move to another one, text direction. So this change the orientation of the text to either vertical or stacked or rotate it to the desired direction. So let's verticalize this. If you want to have it like this or like this, so that's how it works. But let's just use the normal horizontal option. Then we also have this one, text align. This text align also works with the default layout that you had. For example, if you just create a new text box and then enter text into it, you might not see the effect of this text align text option. So, but for this, we can see that when we created the new document, it added the title slide layout. And in the title slide layout, you have the text box for you to enter your title and the text box for you to enter your subtitle. Now, if you notice, this particular text box is big, and then there are some spaces above the line where the text began from. So we have these spaces here, and then we can see that the text actually started from the bottom end of that particular box. So that means the top is made free. That is, it is empty. And it's because by default, this particular text was positioned to start from the bottom. We can see that's from the bottom. But if you want to change it to the top, you can just click on it and then come to this text align or align text button, click the drop down arrow and click on top. So it's going to move that text to start from the top. So whatever you want to enter, we continue like that. And if you want to bring it to the middle, that's align vertically now, then just click middle. So it's going to bring the text to the middle. But if you want to return it to the default state where it will start from the bottom, just click on this one. So that's how that particular option works. Remember that this align text is different from what we have here. This align left, center, and right, they are to align horizontally. And by default, this particular title has been aligned to the center. If I want to align it to the left, just click on this align left. So you can see it has moved to the left. And if I want to align it to the right, I can still highlight it and then click on the right option. So, but let's just return it to the center. So this align center. All right. Let's move to the next. This and you can even see that this subtitle started from the top by default. If I want it to be at the middle, just click on it or highlight it, then come to this text align, then middle. So whatever you enter into it will start from the middle. So let's just return it to the default form. Let me also increase the size of this text to 28 and make it bold. All right, so we are done here. So the next option there is convert to SmartArt. For that, let's move to the second slide, slide 2. So there are different SmartArt options here, although we will still dig deeper into it when we get to the Insert tab section. So let's just look at it. So for this one, let's just click on this second text box. So if you highlight it and then click on Insert, Convert to SmartArt, so it's going to give you different kinds of SmartArt options that you can use to represent what you have entered there. So we have different ones. Let me click on this so we can see computer. Okay, let me increase the size of this computer component to 48. Then let us make it bold. So initially I just have bullet points, computer hardware, computer software. So, but when I now highlighted it and clicked on the convert to SmartArt, it has converted it to this due to the option that I selected. So let me undo it, Ctrl Z. Okay. Let me add both to this, increase it to 48. And then highlight these two options. Come to the paragraph group and click on convert to SmartArt graphics. So click on it. So we have different options. This is one, this is another one, this is another one here. We also have this. And in fact, we have more. You can click on more SmartArt graphic. So you can scroll down to see the different options available. So let's just use the simple ones. Let's just choose this as we did earlier. For this, let's go for this. So this is the SmartArt that it has converted our bullet list to. Let's go back home. Let's continue like this. So the next option here, let's go to slide 3. We have the insert. That's the section where we can insert shapes in this drawing group. But before we go to that, I want to show us something here. There is this particular icon. Let me zoom in for us to see. There is this icon associated with each group. You can see we have it for Clipboard. We have it for fonts, and then we also have it for paragraph. This particular arrow located at the bottom right section or corner of your group, it shows that there are still some other related buttons in that particular group. So if you should click on it, it will bring up a particular dialog box and you'll be able to see some other options. For example, we have the superscript, we have the subscript, and we have small caps and some other options there. So it's because they cannot all occupy this space. That's why some of them have been hidden. And if you want to see those hidden features, just click on this icon here and it will show that dialog box. So for this paragraph too, we have it. So you can see from there, we also have the spacing, we have the indentation, and so on. So let's just close this. Let me zoom out again. Okay, we are now in the drawing group. In this drawing group, we have shapes. And if you click on the drop down option here, this drop down button, this arrow button, you'll be able to see some other shapes in that particular section. So you can scroll down to see the other shapes. So where we have the basic shapes, although the first part is the recently used shapes, that's the shapes that you use recently. They will be on the top row. Then the next row is for the lines. So you can see the different types of lines like arrow, straight lines that you can add to your slide. And then we have the rectangles. Here we have the normal rectangle, we have the rounded rectangle, and so on. So let me just add some. For that, let's create a new slide, Control M. Create new slide. So let me change the layout to blank layout. So it has created a new slide. I will just go to the slide group, click on the drop down on the layout, and then select blank. So I've added a blank slide to this particular presentation. All right, in this blank slide, I will first add a text box. Let me add a text box. Just click on that text box icon and enter whatever text that you want to enter. So for this, let's just enter computer hardware. Computer hardware. Okay, so I've entered the title. Let me increase the size. Highlight, increase the size to 40. Then make it bold. Now we want to add some shapes. I said after the recently used shapes, you have the lines. Here we can draw arrow. Let's say you want to draw an arrow. And when you enter any shape, or when you insert any shape, this shape format will appear on your title bar, on your menu bar. So when the shape formats appear, you can use it to format that particular shape. For example, you can make it bigger. You can increase the outline width. You can add color to it. You can add effect to it, and so on. So this particular shape has these ones that we can add to it. For example, let me increase the font, the outline width to 6. So we can see I clicked on the shape. I went to the shape outline option and then click on the drop down arrow and I selected width here. So I chose 6 points. So it has made the arrow to look bigger. And then I can even change the color from here. Just click on the color that you want and it will apply it to the shape. And you can move any shape around as you wish. For example, just click on it and drag it to wherever you want it to be. So that is it for arrow. Then we can also add rectangle. This is for normal rectangle. Just click on it and draw. And if you want to change the fill and the color, the fill color, just click on it, come to this color, the fill color option, and then select the color that you want. So that is that. And you can even choose a predefined style for your shape. For example, when you click on the shape, just click on this drop down arrow in that shape styles, and you can choose any option that you like. So let's just choose this so you can see it has changed. So let's add another shape. Let's add this rounded rectangle. So this is a rounded rectangle, and I can also change the style from here. Let's change it to something like this. And if you want to make the corner to be more rounded, so you can just click on this yellow this dot here. So let me zoom in for us to see. So just click on this yellow box here and drag it. So it's going to make it to have a more rounded corner. That's how that works. And we have some other shapes there too. Remember, we are seeing the home tab. And in this home tab, we've been working with the different buttons in the ribbon. So we have some other ones. We can add basic shapes like circle, you can add pentagon, you can add cross, you can add cylinder. Just explore everything there and try them out. So we have different shapes in that particular shape option. So that is that. Let me also add star. So the shapes, let's add something like this. Let me adjust this shape. Let's add it like this. All right, so we have added several shapes to this particular slide. The next option there is arrange. We are seeing the drawing group in this home tab or home menu. So let's click on arrange. Arrange can be used to place objects on each other. It's just like you are ordering your objects, and you can also use it to rotate or to position the object on your slide. So you can just click on the arrange. You can send a particular object back, or you can bring it to the front. For example, this particular rounded rectangle is positioned below, that's at the back. If I want to bring it forward so that it will now cover this star, I can just click on arrange, bring to front. So you can see it is now in the front. And if you have several objects like that, you can position them as you like. So if I want to bring this cylinder to the front, just click on arrange and then bring to the front. So that's how you arrange objects. And if you want to rotate any object too, you can still find the option under that arrange. So just click on the object, click on this rotate option here. If you want to rotate by 90 degrees, we can see it has rotated it. If you want to rotate it again to the right, so it's going to do that. If you want to flip it, although you cannot really see the difference for the flip horizontal here because they are having similar edges. So, but if I want to flip vertical, so you can actually see that it has turned the shape upside down. So that is how it works. And for you to rotate any object, you can also use this rotate icon on that object. For example, if I want to rotate this cylinder, just click on that rotate icon and then drag it to rotate it as you wish. So if I want to rotate it like that, I can leave it like that. And the same thing applies to text too. So if you want to rotate any text, let me duplicate this, but let me create a new text box and name it shapes. Shapes, Control A, then let me increase the size to 40. I can reduce the text box size. If I want to rotate this particular shape, I can also use the rotate button on it. So we can see I've rotated it. If I want to rotate again, just click on that rotation icon and drag it as you wish. Alright, so that is that for arrange and for rotate. So this one is to apply quick style, just as we saw under the shape format menu the other time. So if you want to apply a quick style to this particular shape, just click on it and click on the quick styles option, still in the home tab reading. So just click on it and select the option that you like. So we can see it has applied it to this particular shape. And the same thing is available from the shape format menu here. So if you click on that shape and click on the shape format, you can still see that style option as we have here, shape styles. So that is that. Then let's go back to the home menu. So we also have the shape fill option here. So if you want to apply fill to your shape, like a fill color, so you can just click on the shape fill and then select the color that you want. So we can see it has changed the color. And the outline, if you want to also apply a particular color to the outline, let's say I want to make the outline to be black. So you can just, outline is like the edge of that particular shape. So you can just click on the color that you want and it will apply it to it. Let's change the shape fill to something like blue. And then let's increase the width of the outline to make the outline to look more obvious. So you can just click on the shape outline from here, go to width, and let's click this 4.5 point. So we can see it has changed that. So that is how it works. So you can apply it to any shape. You can change the outline of any shape. And if you don't want any outline, you can just click on no outline. For example, if I don't want to apply any outline to this, just click on the shape, go to the shape outline and click on no outline. So it's going to remove the outline of that particular shape. Then we also have text or shape effect here. So if you want to apply any effect to your shape like shadow, reflection, glow, so you can easily do that from here. And it's not limited to shapes like this. You can also apply it to text in the text box. So that's, let me just apply one to this. Click on this. Go to shape effect. Remember, we are still in the home tab. So let's click on this preset. And then let's just choose this for anyone. Let's choose this one. So it has applied that particular effect to the shape. So if you want to apply shadow, you can still do it from here. Let's apply this. So you can see. Let's also apply to this. You can see it has applied it to this text too. Let's remove. Let me press Ctrl Z to undo. So that's how you can add different effects to your shape. So you can just, when you want to practice, you can just try all of them out and see how they work. Let me add glue to this. So we can see I've added glue, and you can even change the color. Here we have more glue colors, so you can choose any color that you want. So let me just change it. I've changed it to this orange color. So let me change it to black color. Click on it, go to shape effect, glue, more glue color, then black. So I've changed it to black. So that's how you can apply different effects to your shape. And still in the Home tab, we have the Find, Replace, and Select. So it's just the same way you can find any text in your presentation. You can find any text in the slide, and that's how it works. We also have the Replace. If you want to find a text and replace it with another text, let's assume I want to find hardware in this particular slide and replace it with software. So just click on the replace here. You can indicate the text that you want to find, hardware, and then replace with software. Just click on replace all. So it's going to replace the text in the presentation. Yes, wherever it sees hardware, it's going to change it to software. So, but if you want to replace only a particular one, so you don't need to click on replace all. Just click on replace. Or you can first find and then you click on replace. Let me Ctrl Z and try that again. Okay, go to replace, find software, find hardware, replace with software. Click on find next. So we can see it has taken us to the first occurrence of that particular text. So if that's the only one you want to replace, just click on replace here. But if it is not the one that you intend to replace, just click on find next again. So it will take you to the next occurrence of the text. And let's say I want to replace this one. I will simply click on replace. But we don't want to replace anyone. Let's just close this replace dialog box. So we have that. For select, you can also select your objects from this option. If you want to select all, just click on this select all option, and it's going to select everything in a particular slide or in a particular text box. So if you click the outside of any slide, that is, no object is selected, and you now click on select here, if you select all, it will select all the objects on that particular slide. But if you have a particular object selected, like this text box, if I select it, I want to select everything within it, all the text within it, just click on it, select, selector. It's just like using Ctrl A. So that's how it works. We are done with the Home tab from the menu bar. Let's go back to our lesson. We are done with all this. Click on next. So the next one is the Insert tab. That's lesson 5, Insert tab. From the Insert tab, you can add new slides to your presentation. You can add tables, you can add pictures, you can add photo albums, shapes, SmartArt, charts, comments, text box, and so on. So you can add several things to your slide. So let me just add new slide. We add tables, we add pictures, and we add some shapes. Okay. First, let's add a new slide. Go to Insert, click on New Slide, and then let's add a blank slide. Blank slide. So we have added that to our presentation. Now let's add a table. Click on the Add Table button. You can click on Insert Table, or you can even choose any table dimension that you like from here. So as you are dragging on it will be showing you the number of rows and the number of columns of the table that you will add. So if you want to add this 5x4 table, so you can just highlight it from there. If you want to increase it, you can also do the same. So, but let me just enter the table row and column manually. So I will just click on Insert Table here. Click on Insert Table. So you can specify the number of columns and the number of rows. let's assume we want to have 2 columns and 4 rows, or let's say 5 rows, so that we will have a heading and then the elements under it. Okay, so I've added this table. Let's make the first column to have hardware as the heading, and then the second column, let's enter software as the heading. So we can see they have been aligned to the left by default. If you want to align the heading to the right, you can also highlight, go to the home and align it to the left or center. And you can also apply some other formatting to it from here. So, but let's just leave it the way it was added by default. All right, so for this hardware, let's just enter some text. Let's say we have monitor. Go to the next line, we have keyboard. We have mouse. We have speaker. So for software, we have PowerPoint. We have Microsoft Word. We have, let's see, SPSS. Let's also add Microsoft Excel. So we have added text to our table. So that's how you add it to your presentation. Now, if you want to change the style of the table, you can do that from the table design tab on the menu bar. So when you add any table and you select the table design tab will appear on your menu bar and the layout will also appear. So you can actually manipulate the designs and then adjust the layout of that particular table. So when you click on it, you can change the style. Let's say I want to have it as this design. So I can just choose that. And if I want to have it like this, I can choose it. So you can actually try all those options for the table styles at your leisure time. So that is how to insert table to your slide. Now let's go to insert pictures. To insert pictures, you can just click on insert. But for that, let's add a new slide. Let me click on new slide from here. So I've added a new blank slide. Let me change the slide type to title slide. So go to home, click on layout, click on title and content. You can see. So I just need the title. I will remove the content option. So let's just delete this. For the title, let's enter pictures. Okay, so go back to the insert tab, click on pictures, indicate where you want to select the picture from. So I want to select it from document. I have this folder for images, new, ICT. So let's insert this laptop picture. So we can see I've inserted the picture. I can now adjust it as I wish, and you can even crop it. We can see that we have some spaces above and below it, so you can just double click it. Go to it will make the picture format menu to be active. So you can now go to the crop click on crop and then adjust it just from the top and from the bottom. When you are done, then click on that crop again. So it's going to adjust it accordingly. Let's add one more picture. Insert. Go to the insert menu. Click on pictures. From this device, let us add a mouse. Insert. So we have now added 2 pictures to our slide. So that's how to simply add picture to your slide. Let's go back to insert. And you can also add screenshots. So you can do a screenshot of a particular section of your window, of your desktop, or any part of your screen, and it will be added to your presentation. So we also have photo album. If you want to add photo albums, that is a group of images or pictures, you can do that from here. But what this one will do is that it will create a new presentation for you and then add those images or pictures on each slide of the presentation. Let me quickly demonstrate that. So just click on New Photo Album. Click on File or Disk to indicate where you want to insert the picture from. Then let's say I want to insert from these new images, fruits and others. Then you will click on the pictures or images that you want to add. Click on the first one and then press Ctrl and then mark the other ones. Let's just add these 3. And after that, click on Insert. So when you click on Insert, you can see pictures in albums. We have 3 pictures here. And it's going to create all of them on a new presentation. So if I should click on Create, it's going to open a new presentation and add those pictures. You can see we have the red, we have the orange, we have the purple here, we have pineapple. So it has added the pictures to a new presentation. You can see it's a presentation 2. So it added a title slide and then the images on each slide on the presentation. So you can format the presentation from here. You can change the design. You can edit it as you like from here. So let's just go back to what we have been working with. Let's close this. So if you like, you can also save it with a name and even apply animation transitions to it. You can even add sand to it and make it a very nice one. Let's just close this. We don't want to save that. All right, we move to the next part of our lesson. So we have added photo albums, shapes, and SmartArt. So we stop there today. So still in the insert menu, so we have this illustrations group. And from there, you can add shapes, you can add icons. For this one, we need an internet connection. So, but let's just work with shapes and the SmartArt for now. So you can add shapes. And it's the same way we added shape when we were at the home menu ribbon. So you can see we have the shapes here. So from that insert menu, you can still add shapes. So it's the same process and it's the same shape options that we have there. So you can add different types of shapes from there. So let me just create a new slide for shapes. Control M. So I want to change. Okay, let me just add shapes. Shapes as the title. And for this, I would like to delete this text box and insert our shape accordingly. So let's just insert shapes. Let's just insert 3. Let me insert this shape here. Insert this. Let's go back to that insert. Shapes. Insert this. And let's also insert a circle. So we have inserted different shapes. And I can also insert text box. So from that insert, click on shapes and then click on text box. This text box shape here. Click on it. I can now add text box to each shape. Like I want to add title to them. So let's say this is arrow. Let's say this is insert text box with shape 2. Shape 2. And then let me just duplicate this one. Ctrl D, click on that object, press Ctrl D, and then you can move it and edit it to shape 3. Let me centralize it. Ctrl E. So that's it. I can also reposition this. Ctrl A, Ctrl E. For this also, I can make it to be Ctrl E. So that's how you can add different shapes to your slide. Insert shapes. Alright, so finally let's add SmartArt for today. Then let me add a new slide again. Slide, let's say title only. And let's add SmartArt. So for this, let me boot this one, but click on SmartArt from the illustrations group. Then let's add the type that we use in the orientation slide. Something like this. Let's add this. Okay. So we have this type. So you can now enter text into that particular slide. So let's say this is mouse. Keyboard. Money. So this is a SmartArt example. And you can even change it to another one. You can also change the style from here. Let's assume I want to change it to something like this. So I've changed the style. And if you want to change the look too, so you can easily do it from here. So just go to the layout options here. So when you add any SmartArt to your slide, it's going to add SmartArt design to your menu bar. So from that option, you can now adjust the design, the layout, and the style of your SmartArt. So that is how it works. And if you want to add more, you can also add more rows to this SmartArt as you wish. So that is that. Then insert again chart. So we will continue with the chart in our next class. But before we end the class for today, I want to quickly demonstrate how we did the fourth slide in the orientation presentation slide. So let's open the presentation. So I want to quickly demonstrate how we achieve this in the slide. So here we can see we have this scholarship orientation program, which is actually a text box. So here we inserted the image of the logo of the company. Then this one that looks like a semicircle is a shape that we can also insert. We also inserted rounded rectangle, inserted another rounded rectangle. We inserted text box with picture. We also inserted different pictures. And finally, we inserted another text box where we enter this facilitator, the training coordinator. So I will be very quick with that so as to maximize our time. So let's just follow. Let me save this. Let's click on File, New, Blank Presentation. Let's save this as Orientation Slide Demo. So I have saved it as Orientation Slides Demo. Click on Save. So the first thing I will do is to change the design. So in this particular example, the look of this page is actually a default design style in PowerPoint. So although we can also do it manually, it's just like you added a rectangle and then you position it in the middle. But I want to use a particular design there. So, but first, I would like to change this layout to a blank layout. So click on Layout. We are still in the Home tab, and then click on Blank Layout. So it is a blank one now. So the next thing, I will go to the Design tab. Although we are still going there in our subsequent lesson, we are still going to deal with the Design tab. So, but for now, let me just demonstrate this. Click on the Design tab. So the theme that we used was this. Okay, it's showing the one for, let's use this. So this first type of theme is for the title. And the reason why it shows that other one is because it is no longer a title slide. So if I want to make it a title slide, so I need to bring back that title. For example, you remember that earlier I changed it to a blank layout. And when I try to insert the design, it used the one for the other slides. So if I want to achieve this specific type, so we need to go and change the layout to a title slide, something like this. So we can see it has changed it. Then in this presentation, we used green variant. So we need to change the variant to green. So still in that design tab, we have this variant group here. And you can see the green option here. It is Berlin here. So let's just click it. And it has changed the look of that particular presentation, the slide. So we are not interested in adding or using these default text boxes, so I can delete it. Click on it, press delete on your keyboard. Then I can click on this one also, press delete. So what we need is just the design. Now, the next thing is to add this shape. So from there, you can just go to the Insert tab, click on Shapes. Then let's locate that particular shape. So it is something like this. Yes, this shape. I want to really show us the shape. So this shape, it is under the flow chart. So we can click on it and then draw it. Shapes, flow chart section, click on it. So when you click on it, it will turn to something like cross. So you can now draw, just drag and it will draw the shape for you. So that's it. And you can see that the shape is facing the left here. So we just need to flip it or rotate it. So let's just rotate this or flip it. Just click on the shape In the shape format option, click on rotate and then click on flip horizontal. So it's going to flip it. I can now move it to the edge. So to change the color to white, just as we have here, so simply click on shape fill here and then click on white. So we have changed the color to white. So the next thing is to add image to the shape. So for that, you just click on insert, click on pictures, identify where you want to choose it from. Then the shape is in documents. I mean, the image is in documents. It's in this particular folder inside these resources. So this is the image. Just click on the image and click on insert. So I've inserted it. You can now increase the size by simply clicking on the edges of that particular image. And it's better to increase the size of an image from the four corners. That's from the right or from the left corner or the bottom right corner or the bottom left corner, so as to maintain the aspect ratio of the image. So we have done that. So the next thing is that we will insert a text box and we will insert these two shapes. So let's quickly do that. Insert this text box, and I can insert that from the home menu. So this text box from the drawing group, click on it. And remember, we can also insert it from the insert menu. So let's say scholarship program. So that is it. Highlights, I want to change it to capital letter. So I can click on Shift F3, or from this home menu, just click on this change case and then uppercase. Let me increase the font size to 36 and make it bold. So let's just use it like this. So the next thing is to insert rectangle. Let's use rounded rectangle, this one, the rectangle with rounded corner. So something like this. So there I want the corner to be more rounded. So just click on this yellow dot located on the left top corner or the top left corner. So that's it. Let me increase the height slightly. So that's that. I can duplicate this particular one by pressing Ctrl D. Ctrl D. So we can see we are achieving it gradually. So for this second shape, it has white fill and green outline, while the first shape has green fill and white outline. So let's change the outline of this first shape to green. For that, we can go to the shape outline and then click on let's increase the outline to 2/4 and then go back to the outline and change the color to white. Shape outline, we've changed it to white. For this, we want to make the outline to be green and the fill color to be white. So click on the shape, click on white for the shape, for the shape fill, and for the outline, click on green. Let's use this green. Let's also increase the outline width to make it more obvious. So that is that. Then the next thing is to add these images and the text box. So just follow as I add them. So insert pictures, this device, then this time icon. So we've already prepared the images to be used for the slide preparation. So it's good to get all those resources like images prepared. You can save them in a folder so that when you start working, you just be inserting them into your presentation. So let's insert this time icon and resize it to a smaller one. you can now drag it to where you want it to be. So next, we also insert the one for location. Insert, pictures, this device, location for venue icon, then insert it. So the icon has white background. If you want to remove the background of any image, you can easily do that online by going to remove.bg and then upload the picture that you want to remove its background, and it will automatically remove the background for you. And after it has removed the background, you can download it and you will have an image without background. So that is that. Next, let's insert text box. So this one we have, let's use 6 p.m. for this. And change the color to black. So let's go to the Home tab, click on the text color here and change it to black. So for the other one, let me just duplicate this, Ctrl D, move it to this point and change it to Google Meet. So we can see it has moved to the next line. You can just increase the width of that text box and it will make it occupy it. So that is that. Then lastly, we insert this text box for facilitator. So click on insert again, go to shapes, click on text box. It is usually under the basic shapes. That's if you cannot find it in the recently used shape. So click on text box. Let's draw this. Facilitator. So let's highlight and increase the size to 24. Next, the facilitator should be black in color. So just highlight that part and then click on black color. Let's make everything bold. Ctrl A, Ctrl B. So we are done here. This is where we will end the training session for this day 2 PowerPoint class. Thank you so much for your attention.